Okay, today I'm going to teach you how to change out your leaky faucet. So if you're anything like me, you ignore the problems way too long, but this faucet is not putting out enough water, and right around here the pivot point is leaking, as well as this part is no longer really giving us any water. So let's replace it together. So Secret Santa was great to me this year and gifted me this Moen Nori. So we're going to replace our old faucet that came original with the house with this Moen Nori. Underneath the sink, there's lots of doodads that we need to figure out what they are and where they go. So first up to note is that I have a dual tub sink. And so I have got a garbage disposal side and a non-garbage disposal side, both of which connect here, go through the P-trap and out. And it's very important to keep that P-trap in place or you will end up with some stinking or ability for water to get back up, which is not what we want. The next thing to note is here are the main water shutoffs. So here on the left, we've got the hot. On the right, we have got the cold. That's going to be running up directly into our faucet. Then over here, we've got an additional supply line coming out of the hot water, and that is for our dishwasher, as well as the drain line for the dishwasher is coming here. Lastly, we have got an electrical line that wraps from the garbage disposal over into the next cabinet, which is where the electrical outlet is for that. The very first thing we're going to do is go ahead and turn off those supply valves. So opening up the Moen Nori, there's a couple things that we're going to find. Obviously, we have got the supply lines here, an instruction manual, the tube that makes the Nori, the faucet handle, the plate, which is really important because I do have a 3-hole sink currently, and we're going down to 1. I'll show you what that means in a minute. The soap dispenser holder, and the main part of the faucet, the point that you turn on and off. Now, the nice thing about most modern faucets is they will already have the supply lines running up to the handle. Now, this little piece, it seems like just a lead heavy weight, and that is what it is. It is essentially to make sure that when you pull the handle out, that the weight it hangs down below and pulls that down. So we'll take a look back at that in a little bit. Okay, so I gathered some of my tools. I've got my safety glasses. I chose to go with my combination wrench set because I can never find my crescent wrench. A 10-in-1 screwdriver, and then I'm actually adding in having a flashlight, which this one is helpful because it is magnetic and can hang. Now that we know that our supply lines have been turned off, we're going to confirm that going up to the sink and seeing if anything comes out. There we go. Now it's fully dead. Okay, now that we know that the water is for sure off, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the supply line. So you'll want to put a small bowl underneath just for some extra dripping. And then for me, I need my 5/8 wrench here, and I'm going to just go ahead and disconnect this line. Okay, next up we're lying underneath the sink, and we're going to remove these 2 nuts for, again, the supply lines, the other end of it. Now, I couldn't find my combination wrench big enough for my crescent wrench, so instead I'm using this tool that is actually a specialty tool used for turning on and off your water main. So it works perfectly well. Just slide it on and give it a nice twist. Next up, you'll notice these pieces up here, which is actually holding the faucet to the sink itself. So we have to get these off, and I don't know whether or not they have been glued in place. Okay, and then it looks like we had someone just zip tie this fitting in place, and I caught that, but my phone fell into the water. That was just a little bit of a twist there. And 20 minutes of fighting with it later, the faucet is out. So I'm going to give this a good clean up and we can go from there. Now that we've got it all cleaned up, we're going to go ahead and get started on the install of the new faucet. Since this is a 3-hole and my new one is only 1 hole, they have this handy dandy conversion kit. So we'll just go ahead and set that there. Then we're going to feed through all of the pieces. So I need an extra hand for that. Back under the sink, we have got this side mounting washer and nut. We're going to slide on the nut after. Okay, now that we're up above again, we're going to attach the swing arm onto the faucet body. Okay, there we go. Okay, then we've got here the spray wand, and so we're going to remove the wand cap from the spray wand, and we're going to attach to it the pull-down hose. Then we are going to take the pull-down hose and feed it through the spring. And then we're going to take that hose and feed it down the faucet body. Next, we're going to remove the plastic cap and snug it into the outlet hose until you hear it click like that. Next, we need to attach the weight, which you're going to want to give a slight tug to the hose so that it is hanging down. And we're going to go ahead and attach and snap close the weight. And now that's going to help keep the hose up above the faucet in the right place. Okay, the next step is to connect the supply lines, which this one says hot, so I'm going to go ahead and connect that over here to the left. And I'm going to go ahead and tap the supply drain for my dishwasher. I probably didn't actually need to remove it to begin with, but. Okay, a moment of truth. That sounds good. Okay, and then up here, blow out the air, and we've got a nice faucet. Both hot and cold work. Now in the hole where there was a sprayer, we're going to go ahead and just stick the gasket and soap dispenser. Back under the sink for hopefully the last time, we're going to go ahead and tighten the nut onto the soap dispenser. Okay, up here again, we're going to just set the soap dispenser in there. Okay, then back under the sink, we're going to thread the soap holder on. Okay, and with that, soap comes out, and I can wash my hands again.